Because freshmen can have cars on campus, the students who have a car are typically pretty popular on their core freshman year. So carpooling is a really popular way for students to get around. Because they have a meal plan, they're not needing to go, substantial grocery shopping and snacks and going out to the movies and what have you. So, like I said, it's not necessary, but students will typically take runs to the grocery stores in groups of like 5 students all going to the grocery store together. We do also have an expressway with our bus system that goes up and down Dodge Street, which is a main street that hits a lot of different places that students may need to go. About as easy as possible to navigate for a bus line. It's just east and west, essentially. We do have Zip cars as well, which is a really great hourly car rental service. So the student can basically sign up, rent a car for between $7 and $10 for an hour. It's not like traditional rental car systems where you have to be 25 years old, or obviously it would do your student no good to have Zip cars on campus. They just have to be a licensed driver and sign up with the system, and gas and everything is included, so that's a really easy way. If they have a couple errands that they need to run off on their own, they can do that. Uber is also huge here, so if students are going out to dinner in Old Market and it's not nice enough that they could walk, it is walking distance, but we all know it can be a little bit cold, or today a little bit toasty outside, so that's a really popular way for students to get around as well. For those students who would be flying home over breaks, we do have a shuttle that'll loop through on spring break and Christmas break, and so it's really easy for students who are going to Eppley Airport to get back to the airport. Typically, if a student is flying home on a one-off weekend where we don't have that, they would offer to buy coffee for the friend on the floor who has a car, or take an Uber, and it's $10 to get to the airport. If anyone hasn't ever flown out of Eppley before, it's a pretty easy airport to navigate. I have yet to wait more than 20 minutes in the security line, and it's a very easy 10-minute drive. I've never hit traffic going to Eppley, so for students who would be doing that or flying to go visit their friends in nice places that they've met, it's a really easy airport to get to. One last thing that I think some students use maybe more for recreation than transportation, but you certainly could, would be the bike rental system that the city has. So they have lots of different stations around town where you can rent a bike for a few hours, either go round trip and bring it back to the same station, or take it somewhere across town as well. Questions about how to get around? Cool. So, do we have any Omaha people in here? I guess I should ask.
Oh.
Okay, so I have a couple fact checkers sitting on this side over here. So this, I guess you have access to this map now. This basically has different layers where you can go through and see different things, so you can kind of see what it is that you're looking for. And I'll start with just the kind of definition of the neighborhoods that we have in this area. So you can see Creighton's campus in blue right here. North downtown is the area that has kind of sprung up around TD Ameritrade, which is the place that's about to be pretty busy here in a day. So that's where College World Series is. That's where our baseball team plays all of their home games. Old Market, if you're familiar with anything in Omaha, Old Market is probably one of the first neighborhoods that gets mentioned. That's an old standby in terms of restaurants and walking around, shops. They do a Saturday morning farmers market there. This is about a mile away from campus, so certainly walkable for students. Midtown Crossing is a development, once again walking, and I did have a parent ask, are there sidewalks? It looks like we're surrounded by interstate. It's above, so it's certainly walkable for students to be able to get out of campus to these areas. Midtown Crossing has Turner Park in the middle, and they'll do a bunch of programming, like they do Monday night movies outside in the summer, they do bocce ball tournaments and free fitness classes outside and concerts. They do a lot of free stuff, which is always good for college students. Blackstone District is one of the newest neighborhoods, or I guess the newest neighborhood if you're not counting Capital District, which isn't officially done yet. So this has a ton of great restaurants to check out. Dundee is right up here. That's been there for a while. Lots of good places to see there. Got off here. Exarban over here. They do a Sunday morning farmers market, and they've added quite a few things in that area recently. Fun fact, when I came to Creighton in 2009, other than Creighton, obviously, the only two neighborhoods in this area that existed were Old Market and Dundee. So there's been a ton of development, a ton of things being added all the time. Every time I turn a corner, they're adding a new something. A lot of times it's an apartment. So tons of great options for students, junior and senior year, should they decide to live off campus. And I did forget to mention, we do have a shuttle. So if students decide to live off campus, they don't need a car even, as long as they live near the shuttle route. So that shuttle route will loop kind of through these popular neighborhoods where students live. So that makes it easy for them to get back and forth to campus. Questions so far?
So is the shuttle a free shuttle
Yep.
for the kids? Okay, so they could do that to get to the Old Market?
It doesn't go to Old Market. That's more for students who live off campus to get to campus. We do have shuttles like to the basketball games and stuff, which is essentially Old Market, but that would be geared more towards specifically when basketball games are happening. So the shuttle route is kind of, this area here. And as far as getting around campus, I guess you could take the shuttle to get around campus. I don't know anyone who did. It's very walkable. It's maybe 15 or 20 minutes from one end of campus to the other. For that reason, most students don't use bikes on campus itself to get around. I think partially that's also the uphill / cobblestone factor as well. So I think students would mostly use bikes kind of outside of campus. In terms of Omaha attractions, things to do, there's lots of stuff really right in this area around Creighton's campus. If you go south just a little bit, have to mention the zoo if you're talking about Omaha. If you haven't been, I highly suggest going to the zoo. While you're there, check out the Lauritzen Gardens, which are right next door and gorgeous. TD Ameritrade right over here, that is where we play all of our home baseball games. Men's basketball plays at the CenturyLink Center. Students do get in totally for free for all of our home athletic events, so there's no athletics pass they need to sign up for. Walk in, show your student ID, you get into the student section at any of those games. Capital District, as I mentioned, is an area that's being built currently, so it'll be hotel, apartment, retail space, entertainment. It'll be its own kind of little block or so area right next to CenturyLink. The Slowdown is a smaller concert venue that will do different events. Film Streams is more of an independent cinema that students can go check out. My favorite kind of running, walking trail would be from Creighton's campus down to the pedestrian bridge. So if you're not geographically gifted, we're right next to Council Bluffs, Iowa. So the Nebraska-Iowa border is right there, and they actually have it marked on the pedestrian bridge. So every time you're on the pedestrian bridge, you see someone with 1 foot in Nebraska and 1 foot in Iowa taking their picture of being in 2 places at once. There's actually concert venues, kind of little amphitheaters on each side of the pedestrian bridge, so they'll do different concerts and festivals and stuff out there. And then the pedestrian bridge loops through. You can kind of see these little walking trails back here to the Heartland of America Park, which has fountain in the middle, some walking around that, and then you can kind of loop back. Let's see, I think that's most of the stuff in this category. Restaurants I will not dive super deep into unless anyone wants to, because I think there are like 60 on this list, and I could rave about most of them. Omaha has a ton of great places to eat. It has a lot of restaurants per capita, so a lot of companies will actually use Omaha as kind of testing grounds, because if it can make it here when we have so many options to go elsewhere, it will probably make it in other cities across the country. I'll pull up shop grocery stores at the same time. So since we are pretty close to downtown, we're about a mile away from the heart of downtown, we don't have a super Target 2 blocks from campus, right? It's more kind of urban grocery stores. So it kind of depends what your student is looking to get, which location I would personally recommend for them to go to. So Patrick's Market and then Woolner's in Midtown Crossing are both 2 good locations. If they're looking to pick up a couple of things, you're not gonna buy a futon or something at these locations. If they're looking to do a little bit more substantial grocery shopping, on Saddle Creek, there are a few different options. There's a Walmart neighborhood market, a Baker's, which is a local grocery store, and a Hy-Vee. But if they actually just head the opposite direction into Council Bluffs, there's a Hy-Vee, a Walmart, and a Target. And actually, there's a lot of really good shopping options in this Metro Crossing shopping center, potentially stuff that would be helpful during move-in, like Home Depot, Sam's Club, those sorts of things. In terms of shopping that might be useful during move-in, Bed Bath & Beyond is a great place to get college supplies, and they actually have a program where you can, it's basically like registering for a wedding, but you're registering for college. You can go through with a little barcode gun in the store in your home city and pick out the items that your student wants, and they'll bundle them all up in Omaha. And you can go, and there's actually no obligation to purchase the stuff that they bundled up, so if you ended up getting a shower caddy elsewhere or what have you, you don't have to purchase it, but they've gotten it all together and that's free of charge, so that's an easy option. I promise I don't work for Bed Bath & Beyond. Nebraska Furniture Mart is a really good location to get mini fridge, futon. It's huge. I would suggest taking a coffee or something before you go in. And I also suggest going to Mrs. B's. It's the clearance outlet there. So I would say start off there and see if you can find anything. They have some really good deals in that section. Let's see. So some other different shopping locations if you're looking to go shopping for a new pair of jeans or what have you. In terms of hospitals and clinics in the area, so on our campus, actually 2 floors below where we are, we have student health services. So that'll be kind of a typical walk-in clinic. If they need a strep test or a flu shot or a counseling appointment, kind of whatever a normal walk-in clinic would be able to accommodate. It is open normal office hours, so if it would be after hours, they would most likely be going to CHI. University campus, which is Creighton's hospital right there on the edge of campus. If your student would need to go elsewhere, public safety would take them and evaluate it, and it would kind of be a case-by-case basis going forward from there. This hospital does have a pharmacy in it as well, so that's a nice option for students if they have a prescription that they would need to pick up. It's 2 blocks from where they'd be living freshman year. Also really great shadowing opportunities if any of your students are interested in going into the healthcare field. They take a ton of students. It's a really amazing brand new facility, very interdisciplinary in how the healthcare professions work together. So they get a lot more well-rounded scope of how the PA and the physician work together. If you have any questions about immunizations or anything along those lines, Student Health Services will be the place to talk to as well. Let's see. Art and museums, there are a lot of actually great free options, and Joslyn being one of them. It's right next to Creighton's campus. It's the big pink marble building, if you guys saw that. Free entrance to that and really amazing art, especially for being a free museum. Let's see. I think those are all my main points. Any questions?
As far as Uber are they running most of the day?
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've ever waited more than 5 to 10 minutes.
I mean, later in the evenings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we live somewhere where our student will be able to ride the Amtrak.
Yeah.
And so, but it won't be
They don't
coming
get
in
here
to her till about 11:30.
Yep, absolutely.
So we don't, and she's not gonna have a vehicle, so I'm not saying it'll happen, but every once in a while, if she comes home, then she might ride it back.
Right.
And
Yep.
so, that would be the only option though for her to get that, or what?
Unless
else?
one of her friends is willing to stay up
Well,
later
yeah,
and wake up
I know.
early. Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
Uber would be, if I was traveling in, that's what I would
Okay.
choose to
Yeah.
get back. So, yeah, I've gotten up
It's not
pretty
very
early
far.
for flights and had no issues. Any other, outside of Omaha, any questions about move-in or? Okay, well, I do have my business cards up here. If you guys think of questions, I may or may not be the person who has the answers, but I can probably pretty easily track down the person who does have the answers for you. So if there's anything that you guys think of, feel free to email me, call me, whatever is easiest for you, and we'll make sure it gets taken care of. So, okay, perfect. If anyone has extra questions, you guys can